I want you to stop treating gratitude like a polite habit and start treating it as a tool that can change how you design systems, make decisions, and hold power. Ready? Let's push gratitude into the deep end. Gratitude often appears as a fleeting feeling or a checklist item. Today, I'll guide you through deep questions that demand extended reasoning, systems thinking, hypothesis, building, and ethical evaluation. So, gratitude becomes an active force, not just an Instagram caption. These questions ask you to imagine alternatives, analyze causes and consequences, design real world tests, and wide trade offs. Each question below is followed by a clear explanation of what it wants you to examine and why that matters. If a community replace one positive role with a daily gratitude ritual for 30 days, how would behavior, trust, and outcomes change? Imagine a concrete counterfactual and trace likely social effects. Consider mechanisms how repeated communal expressions of appreciation might alter incentives, reduce conflict, or shift norms, and identify short-term and long-term change you would expect in cooperation, compliance, and mutual perception. Identify 3 social systems: a school, workplace, or family where gratitude is currently superficial. What structural change would make gratitude authentic in each system? Move beyond individual gestures and inspect the institutions that shape behavior. Name the main actors, the incentives that make gratitude performative, and the institutional levers, policies, reward structures, feedback loops that could aid genuine recognition and accountability. How might a daily gratitude practice alter decision making in high stress situations over 6 months? Form a testable causal hypothesis. Propose the pathway from habit to outcome. For example, gratitude lowers reactivity, increases perspective taking, changes conflict responses. Specify measurable indicators to watch and state the directions and magnitude of change you expect. Can gratitude be harmful or co-opted? Evaluate scenarios where gratitude silences legitimate anger, maintains power asymmetrics, or becomes performative labor. Examine ethical and political risks. Analyze situations where encouraging gratitude could suppress critique, legitimize exploration, or function as emotional labor. For each scenario, identify who benefits, who loses, and which safeguards would reduce harm while preserving genuine appreciation. Design a simple public experiment that encourages strangers to practice gratitude and records social ripple effects. What data would you collect and why? Translate theory into method, outline and intervention, what people do, to the context, where and how, and the variables to measure. For example, number of reciprocal interactions expressed, moods, follow-up, help offered. Explain why each measure reveals a specific social ripple and how you might interpret results. If gratitude is a lever for personal growth, what 3 habits would you quit and what 3 habits would you start to amplify its effects? Justify each choice with predicted long-term outcomes. Connect values to practice. Pick concrete habits to remove. Digital comparison, reactive blaming, chronic multitasking. And habits to adopt. Daily reflective journaling, explicit recognition of others, scheduled acts of service. For each pair, explain the psychological mechanism and the long-term change you expect. Choose one question that felt hardest and spend 3 minutes writing an outline of your answer. For measurable change, prioritize the hypothesis question. State your causal claim. Pick 2 indicators to track the thick and commit to one small daily data point. If you try an experiment, share one clear result in the comments. What changed and how you measured it. When we analyze real experiments, next we learn which graduate interventions actually shift behavior and which only look like good on surface. If this landed for you, like, subscribe, and tell me which question you